What's up? What's up? What's up?
Yo, yo, yo.
What's up, you guys? Come on in the room. Come on in the room. I'm super excited. I know we are days away from Christmas, days away from the new year, but I am so excited to have you guys in. We have our brother who is near and dear to us, who helps us with, would you say, all things come marketing, branding, advertising, life? Yep, yep, yep,
All
yep.
that.
Our
All
brother.
that.
So, you guys, it would be like robbery to us to not share him with you guys, to not allow him, because we can't teach the things that he teach, like, because he knows it from such a different level. All right. So I know you ask us these questions all the time, but we got the real expert in the place today. We got the Google coach. We got the Google coach. What's up, G?
What's up, family? So this is the second time this year that we've done this. So your REI community, man, is one of the best communities I've ever been involved in, and that's all. All kudos to you all. Y'all been building this for a couple years, and you got, I don't know how big the success rate is, but if you want to get started in real estate and not use your own money, there's no other place. And a lot of it is marketing. Like, so I watched an interview the other day, Tony and Ashley, and it was from, I don't know, you might know his name. His name is John Morgan from
Okay.
Morgan and Morgan, personal injury law firm.
Yeah.
So they asked him a question, and he said, Patrick Bet David asked him, he said, if you had to rate yourself from 1 to 3 in these three categories, are you a better lawyer, a better businessman, or a better marketer? Like from 1 to 3. His answer was, mind you, this guy he's a billionaire, started from zero, built a $1 billion personal injury law firm, spent $250 million in advertising last year, about to do 500 this year. So continuing to open up markets. He said, I'm a better businessman first, I'm a marketer second, and then I'm a lawyer third.
Mm.
What does that mean to you in real estate? You got to understand the business of real estate, number one. You got to know how to market yourself and the product or service that you want to offer. And then you get to do your thing on the real estate side, right? Because if you don't understand how to make it work for you, then it doesn't make sense to do it. If you don't know how to get it in front of the right people with the right message at the right time, then it doesn't matter. You can't even be a good realtor, investor, whatever it is, wholesaler, whatever it is that you're trying to do in REI Decoded without those two other components. And this is coming from a billionaire that started from zero. You see what I'm saying?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So you do what you want with that information. If you are in this room, do me a favor. I know everybody can't join, but everybody in this group needs to be watching this. And if you stay to the end, I got some freebies for you from Google that can help you take your learning and your AI mastery to another level. So make sure
From Google.
Google,
Okay.
Google. So it's the end of the year, but it's also some things are coming to an end, and I always like to end with a bang with the people I start with. And the Denmarks have been more like family to me, right? And I know for a fact when I put information in their hands, they do right with it. I don't hear anybody complaining about anything that the Denmarks has ever done. I see people at the closing table consistently popping champagne though.
Let's go.
Let's go.
That's a staple there.
So, you know, health, wealth is something that we're all after. And if you read anything related to anybody that's successful, they all have real estate portfolio some sort of way. So you're in the right place. So I'm ready if y'all ready.
Let's roll. Let's roll.
Got you. Also, before we get started, I want to know who's in the room. Let me know where you from, what vertical of real estate that you're in, and what you're looking to do in 2026 related to AI and REI Decoded. Put that in the chat for me. I'm not going to be able to see the chat for a moment because I'm going to be presenting, but I know my people are going to be monitoring the chat.
Yep.
Perfect. So I'm ready to kick it off. We got a limited amount of time. I hope you got your notepad. I hope that you got your eyes and your ears open, because I'm about to show you some stuff that you probably hadn't seen before, but it'll make all the difference in the world if you want to take your business to another level. So today's training is called How to Grow Your Business with AI Powered Tools by Google. So this training is brought to you by the Grow with Google program, which is a part of Google. And for those that are not familiar with me, my name is Gilberto Herrera. I happen to have the pleasure of being Alabama's Grow with Google coach. And also, I am the founder of Omni One Marketing Solutions, which means I am a business owner just like you. So I'm excited to be with you today and talk to you about an important topic for every small business to know. And during this presentation, I'm going to give you a lot. It's going to be some tactical stuff and some practical stuff. And I'm going to take my time breaking a lot of these down and giving you some examples. But by the end of this presentation, you're going to be an AI beast. More importantly, you're going to know how Google can help you grow your business with its stack of AI powered tools. How does that sound?
Sound good to me. Got me excited.
Let's go.
Got my hair on the back of my neck sticking up a little bit.
Come on.
Perfect. So here's how this presentation is going to go, right? Everybody talks about AI, but nobody really explains to you what AI really is. So I'm going to teach you what AI is on a higher level and just kind of keep it simple for you. I'm going to show you some ways you can use AI to grow your business and help your business succeed. And like I told you, towards the end, I'm going to give you some free resources that'll help you take your AI skill sets to another level. So let's jump right in. Before we start talking about everything that AI can do, let's back up a little bit, right? What exactly is AI? And in a nutshell, AI is just computer programs that can complete cognitive tasks that are usually associated with human intelligence, right? So essentially, AI is set up to kind of help be human-like by completing some of the tasks that we typically do ourselves using our mind. But before we dive in, let's back up a little bit and let's look at some big shifts in technology that got us here, right? So we millennials, Tonio, Ashley, right?
Yeah.
We grew up on the cusp of not having all this technology, but then as we were in high school, we started seeing things evolve. Well, really middle school for me. Yeah, I remember 25 years ago, or a little bit longer than that, when the search engines first made its debut. Who remembers their first web search? If you remember your first web search, put it in the chat for me. I don't want to tell you what mine was because I was in middle school. So, and if you were one of the earliest web users, you personally experienced how technology started changing how we connected with the world. When the internet started coming about, that led to the e-commerce boom, because now businesses weren't just stuck to their brick and mortars, and they weren't just tied down to doing direct mail and spending a ton of money on commercials and TV and things of that nature, right? Once we got to the internet, the world started opening up. That led to the e-commerce boom, and that changed the way we started doing businesses. Then came the smartphones, and they changed how we did business, and e-commerce accelerated. And then also with that came social media, right?
Right.
We are now experiencing the next big shift in technology, and that is AI, or the long term is artificial intelligence. With AI, anything you imagine, you can create. You can turn text into pictures. You can turn it into videos, music, code. You can talk to your data so that you can gain insights. you can be more productive, and you can interact with your customers in a more natural way so that they can get answers as quickly as possible. How cool is that? But when we think of AI, we think about the way we just use it, right? As business owners, AI is being used to tackle all sort of challenges, right? Big and small. So to give you an example, doctors can detect diseases earlier, right? Using AI. Banks can preemptively stop fraudulent charges ahead of time. And AI open up opportunities that improves millions of lives. So it's being used in all sorts of ways. But also it can also help you in your everyday life, right? So if you have problems deciding what to watch, AI can learn your preferences and give you suggestions on what to watch based on your patterns or how you stream content. So it's being used in all sorts of ways. And just to put this in perspective for us, AI is being used by business owners and it's allowing them to innovate and help them get things done faster, right? So if you have concerns about using AI, I want you to think about this. You're not competing against AI. You're competing against businesses that already use AI. And there was a study that was done in 2023, right? 64% of businesses already use AI tools. And about 82% of those, as you can see on the screen, say they already have positive experiences with AI. Some of these outcomes are cost savings. You can improve productivity. And more than anything, sales is the lifeblood of any business, right? AI can help you, increase sales, bring in more revenue, which allow you to continue to grow and do the things that you want to do. I don't know about you, but I'm all for that. Because not only as a business owner, but just as a savvy person, your goal should always be to increase revenue and keep your expenses low. I don't know if everybody, I know we've read Rich Dad Poor Dad, Ashley Antonio, and I think I need a crash course in that cash flow game because y'all are masters at it.
Oh man, you got to play. I got a question for you, G.
Talk to me.
Excuse me.
What got you on AI? Like, how did
honestly,
AI and really kind of get ahead of this curve?
Honestly, just the industry that I'm in. So as you start to scale and grow, you got to start adding team members. And as you know, in any business, your biggest expense is usually your salaries. Mm-hmm. As I started to, I'm always figuring out ways to continue to learn so that I can continue to add value to those around me. Number one, AI tools just started popping up everywhere. And then I started going down in a rabbit hole. At first, I was like, man, listen, I'm a copywriter. I'm going to write copy by hand no matter what. But then I started using some AI tools, and I've learned that you can kind of train them to be similar to you by feeding it your information and getting it to kind of talk just like you. And it started spitting out copy as if it was me once I gave it some prompts, gave it some parameters, and we'll talk more about that,
Okay.
However, I saw people in my industry that were putting out things extremely fast, and I had to keep up. So I was getting left behind. Remember, I just said we're not competing against AI. We're competing against businesses that already use AI. And if it would take me, 2-3 weeks to finish a website or a funnel, write marketing copy, create emails, sequences and things of that nature, because I was writing them by hand. And then I saw some of my competitors, they were onboarding customers quicker, getting them results faster because they were implementing AI. So I kind of had to adopt.
Gotcha. Okay, appreciate
it. Absolutely.
Yeah. So if you're in real estate, think in terms of whatever vertical you're in. I know the Denmarks have their own AI platform. Think about how, success loves speed. We know that term, right? The quicker you can get to your first win, the more you're going to fall in love with the process. And
Mhm.
AI allows you to accelerate those small, quick wins in the beginning. And that is what keeps us coming back to REI Decoded and, then those funding and all your other platforms that you have that you've built an ecosystem around. So this is when I'm gonna kind of get a little technical, but before we can continue to talk about AI, we gotta lay the groundwork on how it works, right? So I'm gonna cover some terminology and just lay the groundwork for this presentation. So remember, we talked about the fact that AI is technically essentially a machine, right? With human-like thinking capabilities.
Right.
So first, we got to talk about what machine learning is, right, and how it learns. So this essentially gives your computer systems the ability to learn without being programmed consistently, right? So instead, though, what it does is it uses data to train different models to perform the tasks that we need, and oftentimes these tasks are super complex, right?
Mhm.
So then we go into the models. So language models are trained on text, and think in terms of books, social media posts. And once it's trained on all of this content, it uses math, right? And statistics to predict words. So, for example, right, if you were typing fish, the word fish, and then you followed it up by the word it might predict that you're trying to say fish and chips. You see what I'm saying? That's
Mhm.
language model. So you see it in your everyday use on your phones or when you're typing something, whether that would be on Google Workspace or whatever tool you use to be productive. All right. Now there's a souped up version which is called large language model, and that's the one that we're most familiar with. Sometimes you might hear the term LLM, and these are trained on massive amount of data. So think about billions and millions of words, right? And LLMs allow you uh, to use it for tasks like, let's say you want to translate something, you want to get answers to a question, and you want to summarize, let's say an article or a video. You know, LLMs are also the foundation for AI models that create content. So think in terms of Gemini by Google, which we'll talk more about in just a few minutes, right? All right. And then you have generative AI, or what we call Gen AI. This is where we start taking it to another level because these models learn patterns and relationships necessary for what's needed to generate content including text, the images, videos, code, music, you name it. Now, I just want to say something. This technology is always evolving. It evolves rapidly. We can be talking here right now, and there could be something new that comes out, right? So it changes every day because, as you know, the world evolves extremely fast nowadays. So I
Right.
just saw I just saw Elon Musk saying that by 2026 there'll be a different type of AI model that's going to be even more human-like. So you think about that. All right. But the crazy part is we've been using AI. A lot of us don't even know that AI was already kind of being embedded in a lot of the things that we use, right? So if you got a voice assistant on your phone, if you can tell your phone something like, "Hey Google," that's AI. You know, if you're on YouTube, it powers the recommendations on what you watch. If you go on a website and there's a chat bot that pops up that allows you to chat real time with a company, a lot of the times that's AI trained to be human like and give you the answers that you're looking for. So we've been using it, and you know,
Question,
so
G. Right. So, like, I mean, I don't know how long they been at Siri and all that good stuff. At least 5 years, I would say.
No.
probably longer than that.
Probably
Longer
longer
than
than that.
that.
Like,
Yeah.
what's the? I probably ain't saying it right because this is your feeling. Like, what was that change to where it was like kind of in the background to like now it's forefront? Like, was there something that happened? Was there I don't know.
So what I think is, so think in terms of the big dogs in the space, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you got to remember, we're in the coaching and consulting space. You've been had tools like Jasper that allowed you to write copy. That was AI. Think of Russell Brunson. Um, he's got, I can't remember the name of it, but it's something scripts which allow you to write copy. Um, think of the funnel builders that we use, right? They already embedded AI. I think as companies started allowing technology to be more open to just the common man, we started implementing them more. And then you started seeing those big companies say, well, if they're doing it, then we can take it to another level.
Mm-hmm.
Gotcha.
And
Okay.
that's when you start to see the Geminis and the Chat GPTs of the world, and the Claudes and the Jaspers, and just start to invest more and more into it. Because what happens is, I think, from a business standpoint, we don't know what's going to work. We let the market dictate what should we do, right? So when they started putting it out and people started using it more, they was like, oh, okay, we're going to reinvest more into it. So, the people kind of started taking to it, and now it's being evolved. So like, for instance, when social media first came out, when Facebook first came out, it was only available to college students.
Right. I was just getting ready to say that. So what happened with AI when it first started, it was by invitation only. So
Mhm.
only select few people had invitation to actually use the AIs. Just like with Facebook, it was invitation only. Only certain schools, when it first came out, had the invitation to use it. And then it became a point to where it became open to the masses.
Gotcha.
But there was still only a section of it that was open to the masses at first. And then it became released and it started growing like wildfire. But people've had AI for years.
Absolutely.
Interesting. Okay. I'm
Yeah.
sorry. Back to you,
Nah,
Trey.
so AI's been, no different than Clubhouse, right? When Clubhouse came out during the pandemic, what was attractive to it was you had to get an invitation.
Mm-hmm.
And because you had to get an invitation, it kind of made you feel like you were exclusive. And, we was on it all day and all night. So I'm thankful for Clubhouse during the pandemic.
I got in trouble. I got told to put that phone down.
Yeah. But it shrunk the world even more because I got to connect with people that I probably would have never had access to unless I paid to go to something they had. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
People were in the same room with me, and I got to shine, and they got to see me in action, and I still have relationships with these people to this day. So
Sweet.
AI is the same thing. So again, if you're on the cusp or on the fence, you're still at the early stages, right? It's only going to continue to accelerate. If you get in on the ground floor, by the time it goes to the penthouse, you'll have more perks than the person who's forced to go to the penthouse and doesn't know how to use the penthouse. Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely. So now now that you have a better understanding on what AI is, about AI, now let's look at some of the ways Google's tools can help you make your business more productive. All right. Now, I want to give you a caveat. I don't know where you are. Some of these features may or may not be available in your region. Uh, and all of the tools are consistently changing. So it might look different wherever you are, right? However, depending on when you look at it, like I said, this thing changes so fast. Uh, it can be updated, before this presentation was made. So, all right. So we skipped a video because it was too big to add to the presentation. But we're going to use Cece Meadows as an example for this presentation. She owns a real business in New Mexico, and it's called Prado's Beauty. So she has a storefront, a website, and a major department store. And she sells high quality beauty tools. She sells cosmetics and beauty accessories. Her stuff is in large box retailers. And again, she has an e-commerce store and a storefront, right? So Today, Cece is building on her success by using AI tools to work smarter and, more importantly, faster. All right. So let's look at some ways AI can help businesses like Prado's Beauty, but more importantly, how it can help your business. So first and foremost, it can help you manage your Google business profile. So for those that are not familiar with what a Google business profile is, it's just a way for your business's information to appear correctly on Google search and on Google Maps. So think about um, when you first go onto a web search. Oftentimes, I'm looking for real estate investing company near me, real estate consultant near me, realtor near me, right? So when a searcher discovers your business profile, they'll be able to see all your information. As you can see right here on the screen, your name, your photos and videos, any links that you may add, like your website. You can add a call link, more information, like your reviews, because that's important. You can add frequently asked questions, so much more, right?
Mm-hmm.
But what you see on the screen that's highlighted bigger than anything, right? And this is how, if you land on a business's profile, it might look on mobile. Like I said, things vary, but this is a mobile version of what a Google business profile might look like. But as you can see, that description of the business is highlighted more than anything. So your description helps your potential customers learn more about what it is that you do, uh, and how you do it, what you offer. They might see things such as your products or services, and more importantly, what makes you unique, what makes you stand out, what makes you a category of one, right? So if you like some help writing a strong description of your business, there's a button called suggested description. And this is AI at work, and it's helping you come up with a potential description that you can use for your business. If you already wrote one, it can take it to another level. If you don't know what to write, just start typing what it is that you do, what you offer, and then let it do some of the thinking on your behalf, right? All right. But again, this is AI. So whenever you do anything with AI, you want to make sure that this information is accurate. So you want to proofread it, and you want to make sure that it didn't make any errors. Because again, it's not human yet, you know. And I say yet because it's going to continue to evolve, right?
Right.
So always review this for accuracy. This is a creative tool that can help you save time, but never just take it for for what it is without you reviewing it. You ultimately have the final say. So
This is sweet, G.
yeah. So if you're a brick, if you, I don't know if anybody here in this real estate space has a food and beverage business, right? But if you do, I'm gonna glance over this quickly. You can add a digital menu in seconds. All you have to do is take a picture, a high quality picture of a menu with your phone, or upload a high quality PDF, and AI does the rest for you. It creates your menu, it creates your categories, subcategories, etc. Right? And you can even add more later. So again, see how simple it is? All you got to do is just, if you don't have a menu, take a high quality picture of your menu, upload it to your Google Business profile, and AI does the rest. All you gotta do is hit publish, and then you can edit it if you want, right? So that's if you have a brick and mortar business, or food and beverage type of business. So if that's not you, if you want to learn more about that, we can talk about that off the record. But I just wanted you to know that this is a capability of what AI can do for you.
Actually, somebody in the comments works for their chef, and she said, "Shut your mouth."
You know what I'm saying? In seconds, you can have your whole menu uploaded to your Google Business profile. And I don't know about y'all, I don't cook, but I'm always looking for restaurants near me. So that helps me be able to make a choice if I can have your information accurately displayed and at glance see exactly what it is that you offer and how I can get it. So,
Absolutely.
so if your chef isn't taking advantage of this, tell him to go back to his Google business profile and take advantage of this feature. And it's all of this stuff is free. All right. So now this is the part that most people like. So let's talk about how AI can help you jumpstart projects. So if I'm CC, right? How, how might I explore new ideas quickly? You usually start with the Google search, right?
Uh-huh.
This may not sound like new advice. After all, Google's been around for like 25 years, right? But
Right.
there's Gemini, a version of Gemini embedded that's customized just for Google search that can give you a different search experience that's dramatically better at getting you what you need. So you can think about this as search that's supercharged.
I got a confession.
Talk
Let me
to
go.
me.
Let me go ahead and tell them. I pay for Gemini. Okay.
Hmm.
Okay. Go ahead. I just wanted to make sure that he. I just wanted to say it while you was on here, so he
Okay.
won't be surprised when he see it. But this probably, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and this is on a free version right here. This is just in this, and I'm gonna show you more about that. So this AI overviews is one of the things that's kind of fairly new. So if you look on Google search now at the very top, you're gonna see an AI overview of what you're looking for. So this can kind of help you find what you're looking for faster. It gives you a snapshot of the key information, and if you want to go deeper, there are links that you can click, right? Uh, they probably don't show up on every search, but it does appear when the system determines that the Gen AI can be helpful to what it is that you're looking for. There are many, many more features and customizations that are planned ahead, though. So to give you an example of what's to come, um, you'll be able to ask complex questions, break down concepts into different, formats more, right? There's so much that's coming. All right. Uh, it's gradually becoming better and more available to more users in more languages and even more regions. So again, this community reaches a wide audience. I don't know where you are, so if you don't see it, you can do two things. Uh, there, it's probably not available, or you probably search for something that AI thought it wasn't necessary to be able to create an AI overview. All right. So try it out on your own time. If you just go to google.com and then type something related to your services and products, or your industry or real estate, and then find the AI overviews. All right. So next, if I was Cece and even yourself, we can use Google's AI to brainstorm ideas and spark creativity, right? So now we're gonna get into the meat of it, right? So let's talk about Gemini, which Ashley already said she paid for, right? Is Gemini is Google's most capable family of AI tools to this day. So we talked about the Gemini model, but Gemini is not a single tool. It's more like a family of tools, right? So
Mhm.
the best way I can put it is like an ecosystem that brings together um, a bunch of AI models and Google products together. So think of it like the power grid. So Gemini is Alabama Power or Georgia Power or wherever you are, right? And this power grid supplies the electricity that powers the cities you live in, the house that you sleep in, and the appliances that you use inside that house. So Gemini supplies the technology that powers AI, and the programs that we use kind of depend on this power grid per se. And they have for my technical people, there are APIs that you can take advantage of to tie Gemini to other tools. So if you're a techie person, there are APIs that you can use within Gemini so that it can work with other softwares and models. So you can be really innovative. So it typically works behind the scenes in many of the products that we use on Google, but it can be accessed as a standalone, you know, app or conversational tool. So if you go to gemini.google.com, you can access Gemini if you're on a computer, right? But there's also a standalone app. So if you have an iPhone or an Android, you can download the app on iOS or the Google Play Store. And one of the things that I want you to consider is the fact that Gemini is built for something called multimodality. What does that mean? It means that it can perform advanced reasoning tasks across different mediums, as I mentioned earlier, like text, images, audio, code, music, you name it. Uh, it was fine tuned to be especially capable at of things like understanding, summarizing, reasoning, coding, and even planning. It's continuously evolving, but some of the most capabilities include things like pulling all the information from other apps and services, such as Workspace and YouTube, and then you can create images from it. You can publicly share work with one click, exporting it to other apps like Google Docs, Google Sheets, even Gmail. And, it can even give you code and help you program things in different languages for all levels of experience. It can even export this, debug the code, or explain how the code works. So, but if that's you and you want to test this, you want to carefully review everything that you do because it could have errors and bugs, and it can be vulnerable at times, right? As technology evolves, so do the hackers. So keep that in mind. All
That's
right.
true.
So
That
go ahead, Ashley.
I specifically like when my team is working the email box and I just want to like find out exactly like what's going on. Gemini gives me a snapshot when I first open it instead of going through all 25 different emails. It gives me a snapshot and tells me everything that I need to know in like 5 bullet points so that I can know exactly what's going on. So
Man,
I
we
can
got
micromanage, but not micromanage at the same time.
listen, we go into that in a few. So, and then we're gonna talk about that in detail shortly. But so you heard it. That's not something that I told Ashley. That's a Gemini user. That's a Google Workspace user. And outside of just having the standalone app, it's embedded in the whole ecosystem.
Yeah.
All right. So you want to take a screenshot of this. So if you want to know how to get the most of Gemini or whatever language model that you use, you got to give it a prompt, right? So a prompt is essentially just a conversation starter, right? And oftentimes we got to tweak it until we find the output that we normally want, right? If you want to fast track this, here's a framework. All right. You need to give it a good task. You need to give it some context. You need to give it a reference or references. Then after you do all that, then you evaluate if that's the outcome that you want. And if you don't, then you iterate. All right. So think of it like this: TCREI, right? And REI, real estate investing. So TCREI,
Okay.
thoughtfully create really excellent inputs. So let's break this down, briefly. So a task is simple, right? You got to tell it what you need help with, and you want to be as detailed as possible, and you want to use clear and direct language. Um, if it's a complex task, then you might want to break it down into smaller steps. So then there are two additional pieces of information that need to be included. You can give it a persona and you can give it a format. A persona is essentially what expertise you want Gemini to draw from. And we'll talk about that in a second. I'll give you some examples. But you can say something like, you are a marketing executive with experience in real estate investing. All right. The format describes the output that you want, right? Such as you want an email, a list, or you want a table. All right. You can be as descriptive as you like, and these details do not need to appear in any particular order in the prompt. Next, you got to give it some context. So this gives the details necessary to help Gemini understand what you need, right? So this is the difference between a prompt like write a promotional blog post about a new real estate investing strategy, right? That's kind of vague, right?
Mm-hmm.
But you can say, write a promotional blog post promoting how real estate investors are using AI to grow their businesses. It needs to be specific to the Southeast. It needs to include all of the tools that are best for real estate investors, featuring the best investors that are using it, so that for social proof, with a deep understanding of the history of how real estate investing has evolved. Make the writing direct on and give it to me on a fifth grade level, and give it to me in a playful uh, and friendly voice. You see the difference?
Yeah.
All
That
right.
was deep.
That was, yeah. The fact that your brain could just, spit that out, it's already deep.
Yeah, and that's just from years of learning how to prompt properly, right? And then also years of marketing experience. Because when I write copy for my customers, I can't write like myself. I got to write from their point of view. It can't sound like it came from me. It has to sound like it came from my customer. So then you move on to the next, right? And you might give it some references. So for example, if you've written blog posts, you can say, hey, here's an example of a blog post that I want you to, give it, provide examples from, or pull ideas from, or here's an example of a blog post that I wrote in the past. All right. Gemini would use that as a reference, and it might give you a better output. Once you give it all that and you hit enter, then you got to evaluate, right? So review to see if you got the output that you wanted. And then that leads us to the final part of the framework, which is iterate. So if you didn't get what you want, try again. You can add more information or you can tweak it. So here's a framework for how to iterate better. And you might want to take a screenshot of this, right?
Go back one, G. Let me ask a question. So
Yes,
just
sir.
to make sure I'm clear. 1, 2, 3 is my initial prompt.
Mm-hmm.
4 and 5 come after I get the results.
Absolutely.
Okay.
And 4 and 5, 4 is really, you read over it and then you evaluate if this is the best answer that you need. If you got the answer that you need, then there's no need for 5, right?
Gotcha.
Unless you actually, and then the AI tells you, hey, you want me to do this for you? And then you
Is the
can
next step.
Okay.
got you. So 1, 2, 3 is essentially what you need to give it a good prompt. Number 4 is you reading over it and making sure that you got what you need, especially if you're coming up with an image. Sometimes, it has a mind of its own sometimes when creating images. And then you iterate, which is, here's the framework for how do you iterate, right? So you got to ask yourself, did I give it everything that I needed in the framework that I used? Then if it was too big of a framework, separated into shorter sentences, right? Or you can try to phrase it a little different. And then there are times, like for instance, if you're doing SEO, right? If you want to write a headline, it needs to be under a certain amount of characters. You can say, hey, keep it under a certain amount of characters. Hey, take away this. Hey, don't use that. When you're writing your Google Business Profile description, it only accepts so many characters as well. So there are times when you got to give it constraints, because again, it's only going to do what it is that you need it to do. Does that make sense?
It does.
Yes.
Perfect. All right. Now, if you're in the chat, how do you see this working for your business? How, do you not see this working in your business? Are you going to use this in your business? All right. So we're not going to do the exercise because we're already at 45 minutes in and we're pressed for time. But I'm going to give you some prompts as good examples, and you want to screenshot these so that you can take these as examples and write better prompts so that you can feed Gemini and get the best output. So let's say you're a salesperson, right? This is a good example of a good prompt. As you can see, it has a persona. Um, it's detailed. So think about it as a salesperson. Create a sales pitch for a real estate investing presentation for an investment group. It should highlight the benefits of working with REI Decoded and the Denmarks and all of its subsidies. Talk about the fact that we offer funding, coaching, and we also work with you step by step throughout the deal, and we even help you find the deal and how that can be beneficial for a large entity. And then you think about any potential objections they may have as a salesperson, right? So what might be objection be? You might say that, you might not be able to handle the workload. It's the holidays. So one of the objections might be, let's put this off to the first of the year. What other objections they may have as a large entity? They might feel like you might not fit their culture. Anything that you could think of as an objection, list those things. And then ask it to tell you if you're missing any objections just based on its experience as a salesperson. That's a good prompt right there, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then we can take it a step further. This is if you're a product manager, and you can use this for yourself as well and just kind of fill in the blanks, right? So create a detailed marketing plan for a new real estate investing app. Write out the product description. What are the features and benefits? Identify the target audiences. Who is it for? And then outline any marketing strategies that include topics, formats, campaign types, and platform specific strategies where real estate investors are known to consume content and information. Does everybody have a screenshot of this?
That was good.
Perfect. So whenever you get a chance, try these out. All you got to do is just go to gemini.google.com, or if you already have the app on your phone, just put I would tell you to copy and paste these in Google Keep, which is like Google's Notepad, and then just copy and paste it into Gemini so that whenever you want to use it, you just fill in the blanks. All right. So hopefully you feel more comfortable about creating prompts after that exercise, right? We've been focused on using, text prompts and asking Gemini to produce, text responses. But remember, Gemini is built for multimodality. It can do way more than that. I told you that it can, be used. It really is used by several different formats of generative AI tools. So you can use it to create pictures. So Ashley, you're familiar with Nano Banana, right?
Yep.
So let me give you an example of how much time it saved me.
That's Gemini's model for creating pictures. For
yeah.
images.
So Antonio's like, Nano Banana, what's that?
Like a dude to me.
It sounds like a food truck.
Yeah. So I write blogs for a client of mine that has a personal injury law firm in Atlanta, right? And it used to take me forever to find royalty-free photos to go with those blog articles. Now I just go on Gemini and use the Nano Banana feature and tell it to create me an image for an article that's going to rank high in SEO for, a personal injury client. And the title of the article is XYZ. And it spits out an image. I just download that image and make it go along with the copy that I wrote. Before, I would literally go through several different places like Unsplash, Pixabay, Adobe, to try to find the perfect picture to go along with the article.
Mm-hmm.
And not to mention, other people are using the same images. Now I create my own images, put it in an article. I get exactly the feel that I'm going for when someone is looking at this article at glance to kind of paint a picture of what we're writing about. And it takes seconds. So that's the power of multimodality. I've shown you guys in previous presentations how we use Google's VO3 to create commercials. I think we did that for Junk Father.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. So I'm gonna pause here for a second If you are watching this
It
presentation,
was VO3.
VE,
Go.
yes, Google's VO3. That's Gemini's version of a video maker.
Okay, all right.
Yeah. And remember, we made that commercial for Junk Father?
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah. So that was Google's Gemini at work right there. So if you're watching this presentation and you're getting value out of this, make sure that you're sharing this with other business owners that need to watch this information. Because again, we keep these up for a little while and they might go away. You never know.
It will.
So,
They will go away.
so there you go. You want to make sure that you're tuned in now. So do us a favor, share this on your timeline, share this via text, share this via, Facebook Messenger or wherever you're watching it from. Send it to someone that needs to be in the room, because this type of information, people are paying hundreds of dollars for and thousands of dollars for. And the Denmarks are bringing it to you at no cost. So I'm gonna give you 2 seconds to share this information, because we got a couple more things that are very important to your business, especially if you're an advertiser and you're like me and Ashley, and we take our hard-earned money invested in reaching the right person with the right message at the right time by paying for attention. So if that's you, or you want to get into that, you want to stay to the end. So share this with someone that needs to see it.
Or at least put their name in the chat. Either way.
That too. And if you're getting value out of this, what's the REI emoji, Tonio?
Don't mention that. That's one of the things on my long list of team stuff they're supposed to have.
I with a heart. I love.
So put I love in the chat if you're getting value out of this. And then also say thank you, Denmarks, in the chat if you're getting value out of this.
That was up.
Oh, you guys are welcome.
So, all right. So let's keep it going, because I don't, we're kind of pressed for time, and I want to make sure that we get to the end so that I can give you how those free goodies that you can use to apply to take your AI learning to another level. Now, Ashley, we talked about this, and you talked a little bit about this. Now let's talk about how Gemini and AI can help you streamline communication and boost your productivity with tools like Gmail, Google Docs, Google Sheets, and Google Slides, right?
Right.
So there are 2 versions of this tool. All right. There's a free version that we all use, and then there's a professional one, which is the paid version, which Ashley uses as well, and the Denmarks use. It's called Google Workspace. So I'll highlight some features using Gmail AI that are available in both consumer and the paid version for the business, right? So let's talk about how Gemini works in the background of Gmail to be more helpful across a wide range of tasks, from managing your incoming email to helping you write replies. So to give you an example, when you write an email, sometimes Gmail can suggest words to complete your sentences, right? That's a feature called Smart Compose. So that's AI at work as well. That's AI being predictive to give you writing suggestions. It won't write the email for you from scratch, but it does help you along the way. Sometimes I ain't gonna lie, with me, I got trouble spelling some words. So sometimes I start typing it and then I'm like, thank God.
It's Tanya over here.
Listen, it's a couple words that still give me a hard time, and I've been writing them forever. So when you see the suggested words in the background, you can just hit the tab button on your keypad to accept it, right? So for instance, if I was Cece from Prado's Beauty and I was using an email to thanking a customer for visiting the store, I might start typing the word "thank you for visiting the Las Cruces store" in new. And once I start typing new, Smart Compose might predict the word Mexico right after that. And then I can just click tab to accept the prediction, or just ignore it altogether and keep it going, right? You can even take this to another level with another feature called Smart Compose personalization. So this allows you to tailor your responses based on your writing style. So we talked about this earlier, right? And only you can see your private personalized suggestions. But When it's turned off, you see generic suggestions. Most of us aren't even aware of this, but you can even take it to another level and personalize the way you use this, right? Because it's designed to predict words in a sequence, uh, but it doesn't provide answers. So remember, these are just writing suggestions that may not predict factually correct information. So Gmail offers suggestions automatically by default, but you can always turn this on and off if you don't want to use it. Under the settings, then you go to general, and then there's a section called Smart Compose, and you can take your Smart Compose, experience to another level, and you can personalize it as you wish.
I've not done that part. I only do the one when they give me the suggestion. I swipe to keep it and send the
Right.
email and keep it going.
Yeah. Have you
But
ever
that,
noticed? So that's something that I think will save you all a lot of time because actually you write a lot of emails and you respond back to a lot of emails. So you train Smart Compose to kind of be more, Denmark like. Think about how many hours or how many minutes you can save in your day, and that's just one less thing you got to think about. Because
absolutely.
we make so many decisions every day, and we got to use so much brain power that by the time we get home, um, we're drained.
Hmm.
Agree.
But yeah, but if AI can help you make some of those decisions, um, just imagine how much more refreshed you'll be when you get home and when you're done with your day. Especially with you all and those that are in the chat, you probably live busy lives, you probably got a busy family, and you're a go-getter. You're striving to continue to take your life and your business and your family to another level. That's why you're in this room. So if we can eliminate decisions so that you can focus on the stuff that really matters, think about how much refreshing life would be. Is this not helpful?
It
Oh,
is.
that's great.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right. So now you saw how Smart Compose where you can start an email, but also there's Smart Reply, and this can help you be more efficient by sending replies in seconds. So let's say if I was CC and I receive a question from a customer like, "Do you have a bronzer in stock?" Gmail might offer a click response that says, "Yes, we do," or "No, we don't."
Hmm.
So simple, easy, click a button, hit reply. All right, so let's talk about some more features. So you got the tabbed inbox, and this is cool as a consumer, but us as marketers that send emails every day, uh, Ashley and then Tony, I know you can feel my pain. Sometimes our emails end up in a promotional inbox, and people don't check them all the time.
Right.
So, but as a consumer, you want the information that's primary to show up primary, and everything else you can get to later, right? Um, so the tabbed inbox classifies your emails based on where it feels like it should go. There's a social tab, there are updates, there are forums, there's a primary inbox, and the beautiful thing about this is if you see the Denmark's email in another tab that's not your primary, tell Google to start putting it in the primary inbox. Just a slight shout out to the Denmark because they send great emails.
That's sweet.
Hmm.
So you can easily do it by just dragging the email from one box to the other as well. Now, this is what you were talking about earlier, Ashley. AI powered summary cards that display information at the top of certain types of email. So you can look at certain data from inbound emails, and it highlights things like travel confirmations, hotel bookings, reservations, what you got coming up, calendar invites, you name it, right?
Yeah.
As an added bonus, you can add them to your calendar and you can change the response to see what other events you've got that day. So this is all at glance in the summary cards. One of my favorite features, though, is nudges. So let's say, for instance, um, you forgot to reply to an email because if we get a lot of emails, sometimes things can fall through the cracks. Nudging will bring that email back to your attention and say, "Hey, you hadn't replied to this email. It might look important, right?" And also you might have sent an email to someone the nudging feature will say, hey, this person has not replied to your email. Do you want to follow up?
That's the one I get a lot.
See? So that, and how important is that as a person that goes out and gets business and you have a big pipeline? That's important. Very helpful. Now, if you are watching this and you are not taking advantage of these features, how helpful do you see this being for you?
So, do you got to turn these on? Are they automatically embedded in your Gmail?
These are automatically embedded, but you can customize them as you wish. So if your business uses Google Workspace, which is the paid version of what we were just referring to, there's an add-on called Gemini for Google Workspace, right? So it provides, it takes it to another level. It gives you a ton of other Gen AI features that work across all of your connected apps. So again, this is in the paid version on top of the base price for Google Workspace. So if you want more information, you can see that link on the screen. You can go to workspace.google.com/solutions/AI, right? And the prices could start at $20 a month, and this is as of December 2024. But if you want to look at current prices, just go to that link that I'm referring to. All right. So we covered a lot in this presentation. I still got a couple more things to give you, but I just want you to take a moment and just envision what your world is going to look like now as you're using AI to become more productive, to save you time, energy, and money, right?
Right.
All right. So we got to touch on one more thing that's going to help you take this to another level. So if some of you are already running ads for your business, right? To advertise your products and services online. And if you are a brick and mortar business or a product-based business, or even a service-based business, think about this. When someone is searching for something with intent, where do they normally go?
Google.
Right. So if you can put yourself in a position where you can show up when they're searching for what it is that you offer, the likelihood of them converting, don't you think is higher because they're actually searching for this with intent? All you got to do is just show up. Whereas some other platforms are interruptive based marketing. So think about it like this: when you're watching TV, nobody watches this, outside of the Super Bowl. Most people don't watch TV for commercials. When you're driving down the highway, nobody's looking forward to nobody's like, hey, I want to see every billboard in town. When you're listening to the radio or you're streaming music, you're not looking forward to the ads. And now you get ads even if you pay for the app. So just think about that. But as a consumer, if I'm searching for real estate properties that are for sale off market, which probably won't find them in many places, but I do see something at the very top that says off market properties in Birmingham, Alabama for potential real estate investors. That's speaking directly to me. I'm more than likely going to click on that.
Right.
Right. So if you're an advertiser, and you use Google Ads, there's a conversational experience now available when you create a new campaign. And it's designed to help you make better campaigns, right? Through chat. So if you ever ran Google Ads before this was prevalent, you had to do everything by hand. Now you have help from, Gemini to help you make better ads. You can use it to create a new campaign, create headlines, descriptions, generate keywords, suggested images, even create site links. So if you want to learn more about this, just go to g.co/search ads. So it's extremely easy to use nowadays. And I remember when I first started, to come up with keywords, you had to use the search, the Google search keyword planner. You had to go to Google Trends and look at the rising uh, topics and the top topics and combine all of these things together. Now you have the power of AI that can help you do this, and it takes everything to another level, and it's faster. All right,
That's game changer.
That's to run some Google ads now.
Mhm.
man. And we, if you don't, if you're not familiar with Google Ads, you're essentially there's several different formats, from YouTube to display ads, but the most popular one is Google Ads through AdWords. So you're buying keywords, and when people type those into the search engine, there's a bid, like an auction, and based on not just how much you're bidding on these keywords, but the relevance of where you are and different things that the algorithm sets, you show up at the very top of Google. And you'll know this because it would say like sponsored or something along the lines of that, or advertising at the very top of Google. So that's just a crash course. All right. So another way AI helps you as an advertiser is by powering campaigns. There's a campaign type called Performance Max, and this takes it to another level because it drives campaigns based on your conversion goals, and it uses AI to optimize your performance in real time. So this campaign type produces and runs ads across the entire Google Ads inventory. Like I told you, you got YouTube, you got display ads that show up on websites, you have search, you have Gmail ads, you have Google Maps, you have Discover ads. I mean, there you can reach a wide audience. All right. And this all happens from a single campaign within the budget that you set. All right. So it doesn't have to be the craziest budget. Whatever budget you set, you have access to this. All right. And like I told you earlier, it can also help you create assets, as you can see on the screen right there. So you can create text, you can create images, and retailers are using this and seeing great results. So, but beyond retailers, right? Advertisers who adopt performance management average of 20%, 27% more conversions or value at a similar cost per action in return of their ad spend. So
That is sweet.
I don't know about y'all, but if I seen a 27% increase in what I'm doing right now just by continuing to spend what I'm spending, man,
That's game changer.
No brainer.
great, right. So if you want to learn more about that, just go to .co/grow/performance max. All right. Now, if you create products, this is a game changer for you because there is a product studio called Merchant Center, right? This allows you to list your products in places like Google Shopping. And if you use Merchant Center next, you can access the Product Studio, which is a suite of free AI powered tools that allows you to create product images. So you can literally upload an image of what it is that you have, and then you can change the background. You can edit the scene. So think about where we are right now, right? So let's say, for instance, if I had a product line, or for instance, a restaurant, it's the holidays. I can literally take the same image and change the background to a holiday theme background. As you can see right there, you can remove the background. You can add different things to it. You can change the pictures altogether. So seasons, holidays, you got a sale. All of these things are helpful. Before that, you had to come get somebody to reshoot everything. First of all, you had to reach out to someone, set an appointment with them, get them to shoot it, which takes hours sometimes. And then you got to wait for them to edit it. And then you got to upload it. So it can be a month before you can get a campaign going. Now you can do this in real time. Now, this is an experimental product, so be on the lookout for more features. Some of the things that are coming down the pipeline are like style alignment assets, which allow you to upload a single reference of an image to help Google's AI understand your style, which can create a product video from your image. How cool is that?
That is so cool.
So
it's exciting.
And once you save it and upload it, it's going to automatically appear around a wide range of Google platforms. So we talking about search results, shopping ads. You can even see these in performance max campaigns, which we just talked about, and anywhere else that utilizes this feed data. All right. So if you have a website and you want to know what your customers are doing on the back end of this website, then you need to be using Google Analytics. The new version of Google Analytics is called Google Analytics 4. All right. So if you're not familiar, Google Analytics collects data from your website and if you have apps. And what it does is it gathers that information and it helps you create reports so that you can understand the customer behavior. So many small businesses use the no-cost version to monitor traffic, explore trends, and understand visitors. Bless you. So, for instance, if I were looking at a Google Analytics report, right, you can see the user engagement, right, on the screen. But some of the things that I look for, it's like, how many people showed up, how many people leave right away when they go to my website, because that tells me two things. I either sent them to the wrong page, or I need to redo that page that I sent them to altogether so that people just won't leave. All right. And Google Analytics uses machine learning to identify patterns and help you find what you're looking for with a feature called Analytics Intelligence. So this is a game changer because these insights pop up when the machine learning detects, unusual changes, or if you have emergent trends in your data. So, for example, let's say I'm Cece, right? She might use, Google Analytics, to see if there's unusual change in the number of visitors to the website, so she can investigate why it's happening, and it could tell you where that traffic is coming from too. So, let's say, for instance, you got a shout out from an influencer on social media that you didn't know about, and you look at your website and you see that there's a spike in traffic from Instagram. Then you start to dig as to why that's happening. And then when you get to the bottom of it, what do you do as a smart marketer, right? You do more of what's working.
Mm-hmm.
So we talk about this amongst ourselves a lot, Ashley. In business, my opinion, your opinion doesn't matter. My feelings, your feelings don't matter. The only thing that matter is the data.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing that matters is the data. And if you're not tracking data to see what's going on, then,
Mm-hmm.
you're going to be shooting from a shotgun consistently.
Right.
All right. So I know I just gave y'all a lot, so you're probably drinking out of a fire hose. Let me recap a little bit. All right. So before I recap, though, let me just say this. If you're here and you probably have some concerns about AI and its privacy, right? So since the early days when Google started as a startup, Google has been using AI to make products more useful, more secure than ever, more importantly, and more safe for users around the world, right? So as Google continues to make AI even more helpful for users, they're always taking a responsible approach from start to finish. So everybody can benefit safely and equitably from using these tools, right? So if you want to find out more about this, just go to ai.google/responsibility. I just wanted to put that out there.
Mm-hmm.
So now that you understand the basics of artificial intelligence or AI, and you know some of the terminology like Gen AI, you also saw examples of AI being used in businesses that are big or small. And you also learn ways that Google AI is improving products and services to help you as a business owner grow and thrive, right? So today, AI is helping us reimagine what we can accomplish, right? You and all of the businesses that are tuning in have an important role to play. So define your next era by using AI to grow. So I'm excited to see what you're gonna do and what's possible with these tools at your fingertips and in your power. All right. So remember I told you earlier I had some good stuff for you if you stay towards the end. All right. So there are two courses that Google offers through Coursera to help you learn more about AI. So in less than a day or in less than a week, you can take your skills to another level to boost your productivity and enhance the way you work. So there's one called the Google AI Essentials, which takes what we learned today to another level, right? And then there's a prompting course that shows you how to design effective prompts in 5 easy steps, kind of similar to what I showed you earlier, right? And then the beautiful thing about this is as you build those prompts, you get to keep them in the library to reuse them so that you can, so the next time you need help from AI, you're not just starting from scratch. You got a library of prompts to pull from. And the beautiful thing about these is these are all done through videos. You can, you know, if you like to read, you can read, and you have interactive exercises that are hands-on and self-paced. All right. So again, let's go back. I did a little too much. So again, these are designed to fit your busy lifestyle and accessible for everyone on here. So there are the 2 links, and I can guarantee you if you take these 2, your AI experience is going to be at a whole nother level. All right. You don't need any technical experiences for every skill level or every level of learning that you're on. So don't think that it can be overwhelming or it's too much. All right. So here's some additional learning opportunities, right? So if you're looking to learn the latest skills for yourself or you want to upskill your workforce, all right, there are some career certificates. So let me just put it in perspective for you, right? When you use a website, the experience of that website is very important, right? Companies pay big money for user experience design. Google has a certificate to help you become a better user experience designer, because how you watch a website, where you click, all of those things are scientifically proven to be put in certain places so that you can increase the likelihood of somebody buying from you. Everything that we do is a project, right? We manage projects all day long. So wouldn't it be helpful to have a project management certificate or expertise under your belt? Also, I have the digital marketing and e-commerce one, and let me tell you, it is a game changer. Not because I have it and not because I represent Google, but because of the fact that it's self-paced and it can take about 6 months to get this done. That's how detailed it is. You literally learn everything from digital marketing to email marketing, you know, SMS marketing, e-commerce, you name it, it's in there. And that's just a few, right? You know, as I told you, you see companies getting hacked every single day, right? You know, you probably see a breach from a new company and data being stolen every single day. So cybersecurity is super important these days. And then we just talked about the fact that data is the only thing that matters in business. So if you can help customers and businesses make sense of their data, you will make a ton of money, right? Because the only thing that matters in this world is solving big problems for people that can afford to pay for those problems to be solved. So this puts you in a category to solve this problem. Do you see that being helpful for you?
Absolutely.
That's great. I'm trying to see which one of these my 12-year-old for the take.
Man, the beautiful thing is there are nonprofits in Birmingham that are Google partners that can give you access to these. And you can get access to them yourself, but I would recommend to work with a Google partner, and I can recommend a few a little later that can give you access to these, and they can do up to like 200 seats at a time and no cost to you. So,
Wow.
so check this out. We're on YouTube. So if you enjoy video lessons, or if you're like me and you turn your car into a university, You can subscribe to our YouTube channel. All you got to do is go to youtube.com/grow with Google. Or if you're on the YouTube app, just type in Grow with Google and you'll find that channel. We publish new videos regularly and we cover topics that can help you grow your business, your careers, and take your skills to another level. All right. So if you want more resources for your small business, you can go to google.com/grow. There's a ton of resources for you. And before I reveal the next screen, get your cameras out. And I want you to screenshot this next screen because it's going to give you a ton of resources that we just covered all at glance. So let me know when you're ready.
I'm ready.
All right. So these are all of the tools and resources we just talked about and some extra ones in there as well.
Yeah.
Screenshot it is and, log this in your inventory. All right. You want me to go back?
I think they got it. They got it.
I got it.
So, man, that's all I got for you today. I just want to say thank you all for giving me a platform to be able to share this information. I value your feedback. So if you want to give me some feedback on this presentation today, you scan that QR code and let me know your thoughts. Or you can go to g.co/grow/feedback.
Gee, this is amazing. Like it's crazy. How much Google has grown.
Well, the thing is, because it's so many tools, it's hard to just ramble through them at all times. The biggest thing is understanding that you can do your own research. And I didn't even talk about Google AI Studio. So if you go to Google, if you just type in Google AI Studio in a search browser, you will see a list of all of the AI tools that Google has built. I don't want to overwhelm you, but there might be a thing or two that I didn't discuss in the presentation that might be beneficial to you. So now that the presentation is over, do we have any questions?
I should have did this in Google. My computer picked up Bing, and I don't want Bing.
Good. If you got a Windows computer, oftentimes, they Bing is the browser. You just got to change it to Chrome.
I have never been in Google AI Studio.
And then you want to, you sharing your screen? Look at that. I mean, there are stuff that I didn't even talk about because, like I said, it changes so much. It changes pretty much every day.
Oh, that's sweet.
Some of that stuff ain't for me because I don't do code. But you see right here, Gemini, images. There's something for everyone in here.
Oh, I love it. I love it. I love it. Oh, this is amazing.
No questions in the chat?
No questions in the chat. Got a couple of wows. I think they stunned, G. I think
that was a lot.
I got some thank yous.
Do me a favor. While you're on this holiday, watch this 1 or 2 times. Because it's not going one is not going to be up forever. And 2, you only retain like 5 to 10%, if that, of the information that you hear. So you want to take this to another level, watch this a couple times.
I agree. I'm going to watch it a few times. And I know somebody over here been taking notes.
Yeah, I have. I got my notes.
I'm going to get a text in like an hour or 2, or probably 10 o'clock.
I know what time it is. So my question is like, what's the guy called who handles all this type of stuff? Like, are there like different people roles? Like,
are you saying for your small business? Or
yes. Like, okay. What is that position called?
I
like tech.
I don't know, but I do know that companies are kind of pushing different departments to implement AI. So I don't know if there will be a specific role. Because again, if let's say I'm in HR, right? And let's say I'm in marketing, and then they want me to use AI for HR. I won't know where to start besides the
Yeah,
basics. You see what I'm saying? So I think those experts will still be in those fields. I think they'll just implement AI to expedite the results that they often um, will take a longer portions of time that can get it done quickly.
Yeah, and probably to help fill in those holes that they have, AI will be able to see those holes faster.
gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
So, but I do know have it if you want to get into the workforce or as a backup, you're a business owner. One day you say, "Hey, I'm tired of entrepreneurship. It ain't for me," which happens, and you want to go back into the workforce. If you have AI certificates or AI experience, that puts you ahead of other people.
Agree.
That's what we've been talking about a lot for our next hires, making sure that they have they're certified in AI before even coming on.
Yeah, that's gonna be a requirement for us.
Exactly. So that's pretty much everyone nowadays, especially
Mhm.
if you want to go if you want to work fast. Whoever comes in, they need to be proficient in AI. We give them some SOPs. We give them access to our AI tools. Give them some prompts that we typically use, uh, and it's off to the races.
Ready to go. That's right.
All right.
Yeah, and that's
I
just
appreciate
touching the
the
surface,
time,
guys.
Keith. I'm gonna chew on this. I'm gonna rewatch this because like it was so funny. Like sometimes I got caught up finna take a screenshot and forgetting that I got to
You
record.
got the
So like
recording.
Right,
I mean, so
but
but it was good, man. I think that if people take action, this can help grow their business. I'm really interested in that ad one that you showed. Um, Even if I get some ads going for $10 a day, $5 a day, I think just kind of starting that process would be good for us.
Yeah, because the process used to be long, drawn out. And I think we didn't understand it at first. So we hired
Uh-uh.
an ad agency to do it for us through Google. But to know that it was just that easy and simple and user friendly, it's no need to spend big bucks on the ad agency now. Like,
yeah, and also if you have a nonprofit, I don't know if a lot of people know this, but as a nonprofit, you can get a scholarship from Google where they give you $10,000 in ad credits every month. So you can get $120,000 Google ad credit and use it every month at no cost to you. If I had $10,000 to my disposal to run Google ads for free,
listen, I have a friend with the nonprofit. I tagged her in this video. I hope she watches it, but I'm gonna call her and make sure because that's game changing
What's
if,
for their
if
business.
if you want
Oh,
to if you want to share your screen real quick before we go, Ashley, just type in Google Ads for nonprofits in Google, and then you'll see right at the very top the process.
something else. The AI already picked it up. You're a little slow.
I didn't look up. Thank you. Share my screen before you get kicked out.
So you see right there?
Is it the score?
No, that's score.org. That's a different
Okay, right
entity.
here.
Google Ads Grant, Facebook Ads for nonprofits. You click on that and you scroll down. Boom.
Oh, that is crazy good.
And then you just get started.
Let's go. Let's
Damn,
go.
that was game.
And the beautiful thing about that, so Google Ads has two different ways where you can run the ads. You can be a little hands off and let the system do the bidding for you, or if you're an expert, you can change it to where you're managing most of it. That I only suggest that for the experts. But if you're not an expert and you got $10,000 at your disposal, and let's say you want to fundraise, and you got ads running to a specific thing that people look for, and then it drives them to your landing page, and then you tell a story, and You get them to even give you a couple dollars. And let's say I got a free $10,000 ad grant and I'm raising $5,000 a month. That's an extra $5,000 for me for free. No different than how you help people get started in real estate with no money, with none of their own money.
Damn, that's the OPM right there, baby.
So,
Absolutely.
I mean,
Let's go. Gee, oh my goodness. Thank you so much. I see all my yeses in the chat. Yes, absolutely. Listen, y'all, take action, okay? This recording will not be up for long. All right. But I want you guys to take action. We are approaching 2026. All right. This is our time that we release our fears. It's our time that we say that we're gonna do what we say we're gonna do. All right. No more just talking, but put in some action behind it. All right. You have all the resources you need. You have everything you need. The only thing that is missing is you taking action. All right. So do it, y'all. All right. No excuses. Let's get it done. In between the holidays, and between your family, in between you cooking, put your headphones in and get to it. All right.
take some time. Your family not gonna understand, but take some time to take action. You know, if you've been holding off on going to the Denmarks and finishing up that funding application, finish it. If you have a deadline that you hadn't met because you've been putting it off, finish it.
Yeah.
So you are one deal away from changing your life, and the only thing that's stopping you is you. It ain't the market. It ain't your family. It ain't your past. It ain't your circumstances. It's you taking that first step. You took the first step already. Now you got to keep the train going. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. So finish what you need to. You have invested in yourself. Your window of opportunity is shortening. Take action now.
Take action.
Quick question, G. If somebody wanted to get in touch with you, what's the best way to get in touch with you?
So they can go to profitableprotraining.com, and there's an opt-in page, and that page will let you know if we need to have a call or not.
Sounds good to me. Appreciate it.
All right, that was profitableprotraining.com.
Yeah, there's a free. Everybody can watch a free training, but after the training, there's an application form, and based on how you answer the questions, then we will know if we need to talk or not. Well, I'm gonna follow up with you regardless, but based on how you answer the questions, you'll get access to my calendar. If not, then you'll get a call from me or someone on my team to figure out why you answered the questions that way, and then we'll see what we can do from there.
All right, let's do it.
I appreciate it, bro. Again, thank you. Can't get ready for 2026. We got to go and set our date so we can do this thing again.
Absolutely. I love you guys. Merry Christmas. Happy New Year's.
Peace.
Peace.